Good morning, everybody. Today, we're going to be starting a new unit. Our focus is going to be on personal finance. On this specific PowerPoint, though, we're going to be focusing especially on your investment portfolio project. Now, this is an area that I find a lot of fun, and I hope you will too. And I hope you find huge application to your life. The big thing, guys, is that once you leave, you're seniors. You're going to be off on your own, and many of you are going to be earning your own paychecks. You're going to be planning for the future. Then 4 years, you're going to be out on your own. And the question is what do you do with all that? You're going to be earning money, and how do you spend that money? Are you just going to spend it on pizzas, hanging out with your friends, or are you going to be setting some of that aside? Well, I'm going to be making a pitch to you guys to be putting the money aside. Let's take a look at why you should care here. Let's assume that you start saving $3,000 at age 20. And guys, if you're even working a part-time job at, say, 20, 25 hours a week, this is possible for you to do. It might be tough, especially for those of you who are more on your own, but it is possible. If you set aside $3,000 each year, okay, at age 20, look what you'll ultimately end up with. The thing is, though, a lot of my colleagues are talking to me into their 40s and 50s, and they are barely starting to save for retire. Look ultimately what they'll have by the time that they retire at age 60. A small fraction, 1/6 of ultimately what you could earn if you started in your early 20s. And here's another graphic representation about that. Simply put, folks, the earlier you start investing, the far greater potential that you can earn far more than what you thought possible. Here's another reason why, though, folks. Right up until about the last decade or so, most companies, or at least a large number of companies, were still offering people what are called pensions. And all that is, folks, is just a paycheck upon your retirement. Remember, you still have to survive once you're through working. Your 60s, and that many people are living into their 80s at this point, and they want to try and live as comfortably as possible. But the simple fact is that fewer and fewer companies, as you can see here, are offering those sorts of benefits. It's going down significantly at most. And this is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So the point here is, guys, is that you can't count on the companies to keep paying you that paycheck. So then some of you might go, well, okay, well then I can count on Social Security. Well, you guys have probably heard in the government class or maybe in the news or from your folks that here's the revenue, here's the money that the government is getting for Social Security. And here is the cost. Right here is ultimately where you guys are right now. Here is when many of you will be retiring. Here is the gap. The point, you're going to need something ultimately to try and create some greater security than that. The simple fact is that Social Security has been affected pretty profoundly over time, and there are far more people drawing out of Social Security than there are people paying in. So my point to you is I would have some alternative backups. I think Social Security will likely still be there for you, but the government might not be distributing those payments to you until you're in your 70s or providing you smaller paychecks there. So you're going to need to cover the difference. In addition to that, some other possible perks. There are a number of people today that are engaging in what's called the Financial Independence Retire Early movement. There are folks retiring in their 30s right now. Do I think it's common? No. But is it something that I might spend some time thinking about as possible, as a possibility of you not having to work for your entire life? That might be worth something to explore here. Moreover, part of the big ways that you can do that is through vehicles called a 401k. Put simply, folks, it is a private retirement account, unlike Social Security, where it is for just you. And if your company offers you a 401k, and please make sure that you work at a company that does, for every dollar that you typically pay into that system, most companies ultimately pay on top of that as well. The amount that they pay along with you depends upon the company and the sort of benefit that they're providing. But on top of all that, folks, whatever you're putting into that 401k is tax-free. You don't get taxed on that until you're retired. So that company is paying into your tax-free account, free of charge from you, and your money that's getting pulled out of your paycheck is also tax-free. I cannot recommend something like this enough, folks. What I'm hoping more than anything you gathered from this video is the importance and the benefit of starting to invest early and understand some reasons of why that's so important. And in the next videos, we're going to look at some ways how to do that. For now, thanks so much for watching this first video and be prepared for the next. Thanks so much for your time, guys.